Hello, I'm Jameson Steed for Superman Comic a Day, where I am in fact reading either an action comic or a Superman comic every single day and writing and vlogging about them. Today we're going to tackle Action Comics number 3, The Blakely Mine Disaster. It's basically a comic where Superman just screws with rich people. And if you don't enjoy that, I do not understand why you would watch this video or read Superman. His arch nemesis is a billionaire. It's what he does. This comic's not exactly ever been all that positive towards millionaires or billionaires. So unsurprisingly, there is a mine collapse at the Blakely mine. Clark is sent to report on it. This is a weird comic where Clark never actually becomes Superman in the sense that he never dresses as Superman. There's a panel as Superman at the beginning of the comic, but there is no change into Superman. What he does is he disguises himself as a mine worker. We're still working under the sense that Superman is kind of incognito or working in the shadows, sort of. He's not exactly attempting that, but there is this whole idea that he's an urban legend. And with hindsight, this feels really weird. But even in the stories now, that's quite weird or odd or strange. Because he's Superman. He's a guy who dresses in a bright blue suit and a red cape. You know, Superman? He's not subtle. I mean, Batman's costume's not really subtle, but there's at least the idea he's trying to keep to the shadows. Superman's been leaping across the city in a bright blue suit. He's gotten involved in a war, which he stopped. He's busted into the governor's mansion. He's not being subtle. He is not a subtle character. It's just an odd decision for a guy in a bright blue costume and a red cape. I'm going to hold to that. We do actually get some fun. This comic is definitely fun and the best so far, but we're only 3 comics in. I can basically say that about every comic. That's not going to be true about next issue. I promise that. As his disguise, which is just dressing up as a mine worker and not wearing his glasses, he's not exactly a master of disguise. Well, we'll get there. That will be the later discussions. He uses disguise to get close to the mine accident and then pretends to stumble and fall in. So he's using sort of the Clark Kent dorky bumbling he does, which is a happy sign of that happening, but he's not exactly Clark Kent at this time. Also, what really is stopping him from just becoming Superman and going in there? I don't understand by what he's trying to accomplish, why we're keeping him still kind of hidden and away from people knowing who Superman is. It's just a weird decision for the character. I keep bringing that up, but it's a weird decision for this specific character. Once in the mine, he starts saving mine workers fairly quickly and easily. I could have just done this as Superman. Would have been quicker. If anything, he lost time to save people. One mine worker is crushed. He is not dead, but he is physically... his body is broken. He will never be able to work in a mine again. As Clark, he interviews this mine worker where he finds out the mine worker has no insurance and the mine company will not pay for any of this. He's pretty much SOL at this point. Clark is not happy to hear this, so he goes and confronts Blakely, the owner of the mine. And Blakely becomes irate at Clark for just even bringing up or suggesting the idea that he pay for this worker because, you know, he's rich. He doesn't care about the working class. He doesn't. It's a very true to life moment, even in the 1930s. Hell, I was even going to make a joke about how he saved miners, as in the worker, and not the underage can't drink type of miner, but it's the 1930s. It's a mining town. I wouldn't be surprised if several of those miners were underage, dropped out of school, started working in the mine because that's where they were going to end up anyways. That's kind of the story of any kind of mine town story, other than being abused by the company. You kind of hope that doesn't happen as much now, but still wouldn't be very surprising. So, Blakely kind of gets angry at a character who is bulletproof. He doesn't know that, but you probably should never get angry at a character who is bulletproof. I think that's good words to live by. Blakely holds a party at his mansion for his friends that night, or a future night. It's not exactly clear. Clark Under his disguise as the mine worker, even though he could probably disguise himself as a rich person and sneak in through the upstairs, he is really fast. Hell, if he was trying to keep incognito, why didn't he just use his super speed to get around everyone and get into the mine in the first place? It is a comic about a bulletproof man in a bright blue suit and a red cape. We shouldn't hold it to logic, but I can't help but bring that up. He's immediately found out, but Blakely respects his gumption for trying to sneak into the party. He respects him, so he lets him stay. Superman, Clark, mine worker, whatever we want to call him at this point, is able to convince Blakely it would be a good idea to take his partygoers into a mine. I have to assume Superman has very high charisma and rolled a nat 20 to get this done. Rich partygoers, instead of what you expect them to say, I'd rather be in this nice house and where the booze is and stay here. I'll go, well, that's a lark. Let's all go into a dirty, dangerous, dank mine in the middle of the night where there is no alcohol. I'm sure this will end well. As soon as they're in the mine, they seem kind of shocked by how bad the work environment is. I would like to give the rich people a benefit of the doubt that they didn't know, but the rich people, screw them. Once they're all in, Superman collapses the mine, which is kind of dangerous. I know he's Superman, but a collapsing mine is pretty chaotic at best. No one's hurt, thankfully, but people start to panic, as they should. Blakely starts running towards his fail-safes, none of which work because he's cheap. The rich people blame Blakely for this because they don't really know that it was the miner's idea. And things start going really bad for Blakely really quickly. Eventually they have to work together to try to get out of the mine, but there is not enough manpower to break through a mine collapse between a bunch of people in fancy evening dress. Once Superman thinks the lesson has been learned, he lets them out. Or he walks away and clears the mine. You can all leave now. At the end of the story, Blakely has seen the error of his ways, unlike in real life where he probably would have doubled down on everything and tried to hire people to kill this miner who made him bring all these people down here. Once again, I'd rather live in the fantasy world of Superman than the reality. And he does pay for the injured mine workers' medical payments and will give him some sort of pension for the rest of his life. So we're still not evolving quite yet, but it's a fun story. I mean, if you don't enjoy rich people getting bullied around, I just don't get you. If a Superman story isn't going to have much of a story, I'd rather it be this than a constant barrage of him being shot by bullets that don't work on him. There is an ultimate goal of trying to change somebody for the better, which I believe is something Superman is about. That's just who he is. He believes in redemption, and he believes that anyone can change, which I guess is redemption in a way. Siegel's overwriting isn't all that bad. The art's pretty much the same. It's not going to change for a little while until we get new artists in there. But all I really have to say is more of this. If it's not going to be a modern issue of Superman, I'd rather have the next 200 issues of this look like that than him just beating up on mobsters. It's not very interesting for a character like that. And that's it for the Blakely Mine disaster. If you enjoy this video, like and subscribe. I will be back tomorrow to deal with the next couple of issues. I will be doing this every weekday until I'm done with Superman Action Comics. And there will probably be some Man of Steels and stuff because I can't ignore that once John Byrne comes on. And I'd be happy to do the others if there's an audience for it. Watch the previous episodes. Hopefully the audio is better in this one. I'm not 100% certain what's been happening, but I'm talking louder and the mic is closer. So we'll see if that improves the problem. And join me again tomorrow as we get into the absolutely crazy issue, buck wild. I have run out of words to describe just how shocking Action Comics number 4 is. But that will be tomorrow.